Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to WatchYouWant.com. Thanks for logging on. What you're looking at is, I'm just going to say it, flat out one of the coolest watches we've seen in a long time. This is the Patek Philippe 5960G. It's an annual calendar. It's auto-winding. It's a manufacturer movement. It has the Patek seal. Not only is it an annual calendar and auto-winding, not only does it have a power reserve, it also has a chronograph, and an exquisite one. This is an historic reference in Patek history. Released in 2006, this movement represented the first in-house automatic chronograph movement in Patek history. Now, throughout their history, they've been known as a beautiful finisher, haute de gamme, highest standard, Geneva seal. Basically, no one did a better job of making a movement beautiful than Patek Philippe. But for many years, they weren't necessarily the best at making a movement. They bought embouches and base calibers from other high-end watchmakers, Lemania in the case of many chronographs, Jaeger-LeCoultre in the case of complications and base movements. But as of 2000, the company's reputation was mounting to the point that it could no longer really afford to be outsourcing movements. Wasn't good for business, wasn't good for the image, wasn't good for the legacy of the Stern family that owns Patek. So they started debuting in-house movements across the line, and this 5960G contains an exquisite one, with a 60-hour power reserve, finishing of the highest order, and you can see the case back of this watch is as entertaining as the front. The polish, the finish, the detailing on this movement with circular Côte de Genève, beautiful beveling, molding around every jewel and screw sink, perlage on the bridge, drawn wheel spokes. It's gorgeous. The levers are straight-grained. The wheels are radially and circular-grained. The back of this watch is such a light show that just rotating it through the light here, I have difficulty capturing it because it's reflecting so much gleam back at me. That's what you get with Patek Philippe. You get a standard of finish that holds up under a microscope. It takes hours just to make the screws in this watch. And having spoken to watchmakers who've actually taken the movement apart, you can actually see a reflection in the bottom of the flanges, in the bottom of the stalk of the screw under the threading. That's Geneva seal standard, and Patek takes it to the next level. As of this watch, the 5960G, they also take engineering to the next level. Not only beautiful, but complex and mechanically beautiful. The annual calendar of Patek's own design shows you an aperture day, date, and month. It also allows you to see, at a glance, hours and minutes in the chronograph. You have a power reserve just below the date. You can see that little minus and the plus. You have a day-night indicator for resetting the annual calendar safely outside of its danger zone, which is approximately 8:30 to 2:30 in the morning. So if you see that little circle dark, don't change the calendar. But when you do change the calendar, it's as easy as pie. Now, this was also the first Patek to feature the calendar correctors on the left side so that they didn't overlap with the pushers. They're easier to use and they're beautifully logical. Just as you have day, date, month, you have day, date, month, just in that order. Very easy to use, very user-friendly, and unlike a conventional calendar watch, which needs to be reset 5 times a year, this annual calendar only needs to be reset once, at the end of February, beginning of March. Now, the mono counter is distinctive of this model. You have the smaller hand on the inside, which measures hours, and you have the longer hand on the outside track, which measures minutes. Now, it's a beautifully elegant concept, and it allows Patek to fit this watch into a very traditional 40.5mm size. Despite the complexity embodied within, it wears small. It has a traditional size with a stepped bezel to hide a little bit of its mass, beautiful Calatrava style tapered lugs. The 18-karat rose gold is beautiful. To the highest standard, the case is finished just as well as the movement. And that's really key because this watch features the new Patek seal. As of 2009, Patek Philippe decided that it was going to go off the Geneva seal, not because it was lowering its standards, but because it was raising them. Now, what they said was, Geneva seal pertains to the movement finish. A Patek should be superior in every respect. Dial, case, strap, clasp, and movement. So what you're seeing here is something that goes above and beyond. The quality of the finish is immaculate, and this one presents like new. This watch contains all of the innovations that Patek has brought to its high horology line in the last decade. Their own in-house annual calendar module, their own in-house automatic winding chronograph, ceramic rotor bearings for unlubricated, no maintenance automatic winding rotor operation right here, a column wheel for crisp start and stop. Just like a rifle bolt, this movement is a pleasure to use. Sight unseen, you can tell the quality. You feel that in the hand. You hear the snap in the ear. As beautiful to use as it is to ponder under that sapphire display case back, this is elegant engineering and elegant finishing. But more than that, the column wheel combines with a vertical clutch, so although this watch does not have a constant seconds hand, Patek says you can leave the chronograph engaged and use the center chronograph seconds as a constant seconds hand, so they even thought of that. Now the watch has a 60-hour power reserve, which is superior by far to the industry standard of 42 to 45 hours, so in virtually every respect, this watch goes above and beyond not just industry standards, but beyond expectations. Even connoisseurs of the highest degree of haute horlogerie will enjoy this Patek Philippe 5960 in rose gold. Available with complete boxed set, all factory papers, instruction manuals, and accessories from www.watchyouwant.com. So log on to watchyouwant.com and investigate our selection of quality pre-owned luxury watches. We are the world leader in luxury pre-owned watches. Log on and you just may find the watch you want.